Hi guys, welcome to my summer update. It's a little later than usual, but it's still within the month of July. So for me, that's I'm still on time. I haven't been making too many videos since like late winter, early spring. Just been kind of busy with work. Not busy in a hard way, but just been very occupied and been doing a lot of different things. But I have been building, believe it or not. So what's going on? I got a new location. So if you've been watching my channel since whenever, my background has changed. So I'm in a new location, and I think it's a better place for me to build. I got climate control, so I can do airbrushing in hot, humid weather, and I can airbrush when it's really cold. So it's a step up above from working in the basement where I was previously, and I have seen a noticeable improvement in my my building, which I'll try to show you during this update. So what's going on? Let's talk about some new acquisitions, things I don't always talk about, but just to let you know that yes, I'm just like you. I go and I pick up models, and hopefully someday I'll build them, and if not, somebody else will. So let's go into acquisitions. Some of these kits I got through raffles, which was really nice. I always can urge people to check out model shows. I don't know exactly what the dynamic is overseas, but here in the States we love raffle tickets, you know, so buy a bunch of tickets and hope your number comes up. And this past year I've been pretty lucky. Usually I don't win, but this year I've just been like getting lots of my numbers pulled. So I got this cool 148 kit. It's a Tamiya Marder, and still all sealed. Pretty cool. Hopefully I'll crack it open sometime. Throw it over there. This was also I believe it was a raffle pull. I may have, there's no, oh, you know what? I paid $5 for it, but I think it's a pretty cool deal for a 172 Focke-Wulf D. So that was pretty cool. It's a nice little find. And this definitely was a raffle pull at a show in Massachusetts. I got a Airfix 148 Spitfire. So that was pretty cool. I've been starting to collect Airfix kits. They're kind of fun. I just like all model kits. I just can't help it. And speaking of Airfix, I did find these. These are some older kits back in the day, but one of the club members that I know, he's really into figures, and he builds some of these Airfix figurines, and he came out really nice, and he really inspired me. So I saw these at a model show in a box, and I decided to pick one up. Also because I do like figures, but I like these guys. These are Scots Greys from Waterloo, and he's pretty cool. And then I got our very own George Washington, and we got ourselves well, it's a choose your own adventure. He can be a Roundhead or a Cavalier. So, and there he is right there. And they're just really cool. I kind of dig them. And you can modify them and scratch build them. I remember Shepherd Payne, and there's a few books I got that were published in the 70s, and they're really into like just sort of doing all the leather harnessing, scratch building and stuff. So these are kind of cool kits to kind of get into that kind of genre of the hobby. So let's move forward with a few things going on in my building world. So part of my club, I think back in April, they have this annual thing where I think they're calling it Pass the Stash. So if you want to participate, you bring your kit all wrapped up and pile it up with all the other kits, and then they just one by one we grab a kit at random. So we have to build it. So there's nothing, it's not like a shelf queen, it's just an unbuilt kit, and we have to build it before our big show in October. So I pulled a Sopwith Camel from Academy. I started building this, so that's why it's shaking. But it's pretty cool. It's 1/32 scale, so it's kind of decent size, and so far so good. Just to build it, have fun, don't get all too deep into it. It's rigging. I think it's a pretty good kit to start rigging, because I already got the holes punched out, and I just got to take the thread and thread it. So hopefully the details are okay. Academy does have a reputation, but maybe there's something on the aftermarket world. So that's it for that. Group builds. So let's see, the Kursk group build and the Sherman group build that I was participating in have, I think, run their pass now. But I had a great time. It was definitely enjoyable, and I was definitely really close to both. I just at one point back in May, I was like, yeah. But I was pretty close. So let's take a look at the Panther D from Zvezda. And I just didn't want to rush it. And I agree with Cohen and Nigel, like, they're going to keep the site open. It's going to not be a Kursk group build, but it's, I think, warts and all, just a general group on Facebook, which is cool, because it was a good community and I enjoyed it. Anyway, here's the Panther. And it was a lot of fun. It was really nice to airbrush. I don't do as much. I need to get more into airbrushing, but came out alright. And it's really the working on the wheels and things, and get the sucker detailed and weathered up and put her on the shelf, take it to a show. Alright, the other one was the Sherman group build, hosted by Shane. And this one is another one. I could have just slapped it together and finished it and said, hey, look, I built it. But we put time into our kits, so just because you miss a deadline doesn't mean you should rush it, and that's okay. So it's painted, so I just want to be careful with it, but I got it all painted up, and it was really nice. I used Vallejo paints. I know Shane had given me a hand with suggesting, and I wanted to try it out, so he was really helpful in the execution. And I got the lower hull here, and all my boogie wheels, they're all built and painted. They're all clear coated, so I just gotta weather them and do all that stuff. I think with weathering, it's like, I think I was at an AMPS Nationals 2 years ago, and Steve Zaloga gave a talk about how, like, weathering is, there's a lot of it out there, so pick one and just stick with that on your kit. Don't go overboard, because there's a lot of alternatives and they're all equally good. Just pick one and stick with it. So I gotta pick mine. I haven't done that yet, but she's coming along really well. Really nice. Alright, group builds. Group builds. Those are group builds of modeling past. Let's talk about group builds of modeling future. I like my Charles Dickens. Anyway, so International British Modeler is hosting the RAF Bomber Command Buddy Build. And I've never participated in any of his, I think I did. There was the We Like Freddy, and it just sort of petered out. But Martin, if you're not familiar with his site, I definitely recommend him. He's a knowledgeable man, and he meets a deadline. He's like my opposite. I build but no finish, but he builds and finishes, and puts on some really good work. His videos are very crisp and clear, and his buddy builds are just phenomenal. So my contribution is going to be the it's this Lancaster, and I've had this in the stash for some years, and this is it. So I haven't started it. It's already coming towards the end of July. I think I got till October 31st, which is Halloween, All Souls Day or something. And I got plenty of vacation time coming up before then, so... And I'm just going to stick with right out of the box with this guy. And just crank it out. So that should be a lot of fun. So that's it for group builds. It's been, I just I just pick one or two and I just stay there. I've always said being the model builder that I am, I'm a bit slow, so I'm meticulous. So I just usually stick to one or two, and that's good enough for me. There'll always be another group build. Alright, let's talk about just what's going on. What am I building? Stuff that's on the bench. Alright, so I have been spending most of the summer rescribing because I've had this B-17. I've had it for a while. I bought it in Massachusetts. It traveled to Colorado. It came back from Colorado. It's back in New Hampshire. And I'm like, I gotta build this. I love B-17s. I just recently visited a real B-17 a few weeks ago at an air show. So it's like I gotta rescribe. So I kind of agonized over it. I tend to agonize over things. So you know, you gotta, in this hobby or any hobby, you just gotta do it. You know, like the Nike commercial, do it, just do it. So I did. I mean, there's tons of videos. I rescribed a Stuka, and you know, a bunch of guys. I know Nigel Wells years ago did a rescribing video, and there's plenty on the on YouTube. So you know, it's not hard. You just gotta do it. So I've been working on these wings, and it's fun. I was really surprised at how quickly it went. I think Cohen, he built the same thing. It's a monogram B-17, and yeah, it's not bad. It's all straight lines, so just line it up and cut it. So I don't know if you're going to be able to see it. What I did is I kind of sanded it, and so it filled in with some of the dust particles, so I can kind of see the lines. Maybe the lines will show up in the video, I don't know, but you can see there's the underwing. And that looks pretty sharp. And then I started up here. I don't think I sanded it, but you can see the demarcations. You'll definitely see it on this one. Here's the top, and oh look, I didn't sand these either, but it's definitely there. And you can see, like, yeah, these show up pretty well. So the wings are almost done, and then we got the fuselage. Anyway, so here it is, and it's all been sanded, and I'm just gonna start working on the nose and work my way all the way down to the tail. And again, it's all straight lines. I'm using Dymo tape, and I got a trumpeter thing, and it works a lot better. When I did my Stuka, that was done with a thumbtack and like a needle, and it worked. But sometimes it skips off the Dymo tape, and then you have like this scratch, and you got to go back and fill it. But with the trumpeter tool that I'm using, it's really it's awesome. I think I've only once have I scratched out, and I've been making dozens of lines. I think I have my tool here. So there's my little trumpeter guy here, and he works really well. And I make, I think I do 4 passes, and you don't want to make a deep trench. It's like Luke Skywalker can go inside and blow up the Death Star. You just want like a nice, just like when you buy a kit with recessed lines, they're not deep. So just a little demarcation. It's clean, straight. You're good to go. Alright. I don't know if I discussed this in my video of spring, but I did acquire a Nashorn from Dragon. I think it's a Smart or a Premium edition, I have no idea. But I started working on this, and tracks are up and running. Most of it's built. It's all done in subsections. It's just a matter of painting the interior and kind of building outwards. And I think we'll talk about this last, and we'll start wrapping up. But I do like figures. I know I don't really produce much on my YouTube channel, and I don't produce much in general, but that's something I got to work on. But I did pick up this. He's from Andrea Miniatures, and he's called the Patriot, perhaps based upon the Mel Gibson movie. And he's got his little tomahawk, and he's got musket, and I think he's got more muskets on his shoulder, and he's got his little tricorn, and it comes with like trees and things, and he's kind of cool. I like him. I've been building bases at work. My boss lets me play with the router and stuff on my free time, so I've been making these little simple pine bases out of scrap. And I'm going to use this, stain it and polyurethane it or something, and then that's that. So those are, in general, that's the orbit of my model building world. There's definitely other kits that I've been working on, but I only have so much time on my channel. So that's about it. I have been going to, I went to an Air Force air show 2 weeks ago. Westover Air Force Base in Massachusetts had the Great New England Air Show. I haven't been to an air show since I was a really small boy, and I think there was the Blue Angels, and at the time I was probably more interested in the cotton candy than the airplanes. So I was really impressed. It was a huge air show. There was like so many things to do and see. I got to see the Thunderbirds, and it was a great day. It was really beautiful. It was really hot, but it's okay. It was all good. Had a good time. So hopefully I'll make some sort of collage video for the channel. And yesterday I went over to, they have this thing called World War II Weekend. It's like a traveling World War II reenactment group that travels North America. And local private collectors bring their equipment out wherever they go. So we have some base museums here in New England. So the Wright Museum, which is based in New Hampshire, they had some tanks. They had a Sherman Easy 8 and a Pershing tank, which is really cool. I didn't realize this, but it was, its history is, it actually participated at the Battle of Remagen in '45. And it was just really cool. It's been in New Hampshire for a long time, and I had no idea. So that was a surprise. So I got some nice clips of the tanks, and they had all kinds of vehicles and reenactments and then stuff like that. So I'll definitely put something together. It's very similar to the Collins Foundation, which is down in Stowe, Massachusetts. So it was all good fun. Got a little burnt in the sun, but it's okay. So we talked about all sorts of things. Acquisitions, builds, a little bit for the future. Yeah, channel wise, not much is going on. I really, I mean, I've been trying to think of some tutorials, but just not really in the mood. I really want to just been focusing on just building stuff. I got a lot of kits. What I did is I have a shelf system here. So right above where I paint now, I have like probably a dozen or so kits that I've started. And you've seen them over the years, and they're just kind of sitting there. But it's kind of like my goal. It's just to work on this and don't worry about the other stuff. Those can be sold, those can be traded, those can be built later. So That's plenty of kits to work on for some time. So, that's it. I have nothing else to talk about. So I hope things are going well over at your workbench. And I'll see you again here on YouTube. And model on.